In today's Leeds news, annual agent spends revealed, Elland Road redevelopment news, Liam Cooper surprising stats, Hearts Starlet linked with move to Leeds, Nottingham Forest news, Leeds United ladies in action, and Diego Llorente impresses Jose. Morning, folks. Chair here, Monday morning, 3rd of April. Hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. And there's an absolute ton of stuff to get into today, so we're going to fly through this. It might be slightly longer than normal, but we'll try and get through it as quick as we can. Some interesting stuff around Leeds Expenditure, and some updates on the stadium redevelopment, especially on the West Stand, as well as some interesting comments from Jose Mourinho about Diego Llorente's performances this weekend. So we'll crack on with this. We'll start off with the agent spends, and the Premier League agent spends table has been released for this year. And what it shows is that Leeds spend in the last two windows was up and around the £15 million mark. That's how much money Leeds have paid to either third parties or agents in order to get deals done. It puts Leeds in 8th position in the overall table, which is quite high considering Leeds spend over the last couple of years. This is based over the last two transfer windows. So we did spend money in January, and that's probably where that's come from. But the expenditure is up overall at Leeds in the last two windows. Put the whole thing in context, Leeds are ahead of Newcastle, Brighton and Brentford in this table. The total spend for the league is in around £318 million. And topping that list are Manchester City on £51 million and Chelsea on £43 million. Liverpool and they're on 41, I think, as well. Still doing things on a shoestring budget, apparently. So that's the agent spend stuff. So Leeds spend a lot more money than they have been spending on agents. So that's that bit done out of the way. Move on. Let's talk about the big stuff today. This is just quite a lot in this, so I'll try and get through this in as best the way I can. As the Elland Road redevelopment plans and detail on that have come out recently. Angus Kinnear was speaking with the Leeds United Supporters Advisory Board on a Zoom call around the Leeds in general, but the redevelopment of Elland Road came up, and quite a lot came up. And speaking on the Zoom call, he confirmed the club has drawings and commissions in place for the redevelopment, while also providing a timeline of the construction and the work that will need to be carried out at Elland Road. He did reveal that costs for the redevelopment have gone up by over 50%, which is a huge skyrocket in price, and that has had a significant impact and has basically slowed the project down. So it's hindered the project, is what he said. But give you a detail of what he actually said, and this is what Angus Kinnear said about the redevelopment. Plans are ongoing and have been stalled due to restrictions with COVID. And then you have our position last season with regards to our status in the Premier League, which is similar to this season. We want to say the club will engage in a full consultation with supporters as well as all stakeholders and the wider Leeds community. The expected timeline is approximately 1 year for the funding and consultation, 1 year for West Stand upper build, 1 year for West Stand lower, with the intention that the stadium capacity is not reduced during the construction period. He did confirm, however, that there are some temporary fixes that Elland Road needs and that some areas are not fit for purpose. And he did say that 220 toilet seats have been replaced in the ground. And he said that there are other areas of the ground that need a bit of cleaning up and work as they are not currently fit for purpose. This follows a social media thread that went around with photographs of Elland Road, and the state of the West End toilets has always been a problem, but the general cleanliness of the area and a pie stain being on a wall for nearly a year. So he has reacted to that social media thread and said there is plans in place to do some minor work on Elland Road in the meantime. So that's that bit. Move on from that. Liam Cooper, he has an interesting stat. I just thought I'd share this with you because it was an interesting stat that popped up over the weekend. He is the first Leeds player to have played under 11 managers. Mass Muchlino has an awful lot to answer for this, but to give it the 11 managers: Hockaday, Redfern, Milanic, Rosler, Evans, Monk, Christensen, Heckenbottom, Bielsa, Marsh, and Garcia. So there's a lot of managers in there, some good, some not so good. Liam Cooper will probably make an amazing manager when he finally decides to move into coaching and management, having worked under that many managers at one club. So yeah, interesting one for Coops. But yeah. Right, rumour mill territory. Well, not so much rumour mill. There's a lot in this, but according to the Daily Record, Hearts' 16-year-old starlet James Wilson has snubbed a deal at Hearts and is expected to move south of the border. Manchester United, Newcastle, Aston Villa were also said to be interested in the player in the south. Celtic and Rangers were keeping an eye on the player in the north as well. It's believed that Wilson and his family have already had a tour of Thorpe Arch and Elland Road, and Hearts are said to be reluctant about the deal, but will look for compensation in and around £120,000 for the player. He is regarded as one of Scotland's best talents and prospects in a long, long time. So Leeds are continuing to look up north and pick the odd player out of Scotland as well. Young Rory Mahady was the goalkeeper brought in from Celtic as well, and he's expected to do good things at Leeds as well. So again, more good, solid young youth players coming into the youth setup at Leeds, which is great to see. Some good news heading into the Nottingham Forest game, or possible good news, I suppose. There has been some identification on the status of Wober and Gnonto coming into the weekend, and Phil Hay has been saying over the weekend that there is a possibility that both players could play some part in the game tomorrow night against Nottingham Forest. But he said what he has heard is that there's slight injuries, not major concerns. But he said that it's not definite, so, don't quote him on that, but there is a chance. He's saying there's a chance. And we need Wober, for me. More so than Gnonto. Gnonto will be very important, but just from a defensive perspective, I saw enough of the weekend to realise we badly missed Wober. So need him back. Moving on, let's get to the Leeds ladies. And unfortunately, some bad news for the Leeds ladies this weekend. And they couldn't take their Shield winning performances into the league. And they fell to a 3-1 loss to Chorley women's team. Leeds did have the lead in that game. Emmy Woodruff continues her fantastic scoring season, and she would put Leeds ahead in the 16th minute. But unfortunately, 3 goals from Chorley in 37th, 45th, and 53rd minute were enough to unfortunately see Leeds fall to an away defeat. It's been a decent season for Leeds. They've got a good side there, and they've done some really good things this season. They have a ton of games in hand in the league, so you're hoping that they'll catch up there as well. But unlucky this weekend for the Leeds ladies, and fingers crossed Rick Passmore's side can bounce back next week. And moving on, the final story, we got through this a lot quicker than I thought we would. The final story today, Diego Llorente, whose loan spell at Rome has been interesting to say the least. It's been some good bits and some not so good bits, an injury thrown in there as well. However, after the 3-0 win against Sampdoria this weekend, Jose Mourinho has had nothing but praise for Diego Llorente. Llorente played the entire 90 minutes, played the left-hand side of the back four defenders, the left-hand centre-back row, where he really struggled for Leeds when he played there. Played in there alongside Smalling, and Jose has said that it worked out well, and what he has said about the player is the following. Diego Llorente also played very well. Smalling in a 4-man defence. He worked well during the break, and as a manager, that's what really struck me about today, Llorente's performance. I was really happy with Llorente because he allowed us to keep more possession. So there you go. No Cruyff turns on the edge of the box for Roma yet for Diego Llorente. Fair play to him. Good to see him getting good performance under his belt as well, which will hopefully help the potential permanent move. Although it is said that Roma are not looking to make the move permanent at the end of the season, but more performance like that will definitely help him. That'll be it for me today, folks. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with some more news. Take care of yourself. Bye.